Thanks so much, Shannon. Our next guest believes that visual design transcends aesthetics. For him, it's about helping communities tell their stories to spark meaningful change. From partnering with South Bend schools to reviving the legacy of a long-forgotten baseball team, his work is rooted in what he calls community-activated design. Joining me now, the Robert P. Sedlak Jr. Associate Professor of Design, Clinton Carlson. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Jenna, thanks.
I'm a fan of your work and work that you may recognize that we'll talk about in just a bit. But first of all, just tell us, what is community activated design and why is it so meaningful for you?
Yeah, it's really just about designing to activate communities, you know. So a lot of design is top down, has been mass marketing and approaches like that. But at local small communities, that's not sustainable. They can't afford design expertise, and it also puts the expertise on the designer. What community activated design is it puts the expertise on the community, and it asks the designer to operate a little bit differently. Instead of thinking about how do I create a compelling message and understand the community and then translate it back to them, it asks me to make tools to make the community the activators of the design, and it becomes theirs. And so if we're working with nonprofits that have 40 students working like we have in the past, they're creating and making, and they believe that it's theirs. And I'm just helping to kind of curate that experience and that dialogue, because the dialogue and their advocacy within their community is going to have more long-standing and sustainable efforts towards change in that community.
Tell me, you recently partnered with South Bend schools to support their restorative justice initiative. Is that right? What did that collaboration look like in the context of what you just spoke about?
Yeah, it's a great example of community activated design because, I'm far from a high school student. So to ask me as a designer to design something for them would be a tall task for me, to understand a high school student. And also to bring in a group of students and have them kind of compete, which is a common model that schools use, is, we'll have them compete and we'll pick one. And if you have 20 students working to create something, a campaign or a logo or a website, you have one winner and 19 losers. Or you create a kind of art-based production that is like a mural that's a paint by number, and students don't feel like it's necessarily something that they contributed a little bit to, but it wasn't theirs. And so what we do in this case is we create a toolkit. We use kind of street art techniques, and we bring in 40 students to create posters. At Riley High School we did this, and we had 40 plus students. In an afternoon they created 150 plus posters that are all unique. We give them limited color and some toolkits and paints so that there's a visible kind of recognition of the posters throughout the campus to promote restorative justice circles. But each poster is unique, done by a student, and also recognizable by the community at large. And it again puts that emphasis on the students and the existing advocates and activists within that community, and lets their voices be the voices that point to the posters and then tell people and give people more information.
And speaking of those stories, Foundry Field, if you live in South Bend, or maybe if not, you may have heard of Foundry Field. Tell me about that project and why was it so special to you?
Yeah, it's a project that's been 5 years in the making, initiated by a large group of community partners that were interested in kind of placemaking, the idea of making places that engage community and tell stories. And so the concept was to build an urban baseball field here in South Bend, accessible to youth. A lot of the parks that are around South Bend are not accessible, or in a large part across the country, baseball is really becoming a suburban activity. And so it was really the idea to bring that back into the urban core, introduce kids who literally haven't ever seen a baseball bat to baseball, and also to see the underrepresented histories of baseball in our community, of the African American, the Latino, and even the Potawatomi that are here. And those teams and those players have also been active leaders in forming our community and who we are.
What has you excited in the future, looking forward? Can you give us a glimpse?
Yeah, next week we have our Latino mural being revealed by a local artist, Freddie Rodriguez.
Oh,
and so we're going to have a celebration next Friday to celebrate that mural. It'll be in addition to the outfield wall of Foundry Field. We have plans for the next mural. Got other projects going, but that's the immediate thing that we're really looking forward to, is to invite the community to be there and celebrate the rich history of Latino and Latina baseball and softball in South Bend.
We can't wait to be a part of it. I admire your work so much. Thank you for talking with me,
You bet.
Clinton.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Now let's check back in with Shannon Lipscomb. She's standing by.